Thomas Kirchner. I founded and run the Pennsylvania Avenue Funds. We really run a mutual fund, an event-driven mutual fund, which is somewhat unusual for mutual funds because we don't really fit into any style box. We're more of a hedge fund. There's probably 100 or 200 hedge funds around that do event-driven strategies and that do merger arbitrage. In the mutual fund space, there's a handful of us. You're ready to start your own business when you've figured out a business model that you can afford. I'll give you a concrete example. One of my competitors just shut down in January, another mutual fund. They chose a business model that's pretty expensive, a high-end business model. They lasted 2 years. Now, what good is it to last 2 years in a mutual fund if it takes 3 years to get a Morningstar rating? So just make sure you've thought through your business and you know what the financial commitment is. Yeah, the trick is figuring out your cash flow. The biggest challenge is probably marketing and sales, especially for those of us who have a more quantitative background, and I'm sure everybody here is CFA, so last time I looked at the CFA program, they didn't teach you how to market your firm or how to do that sales call, and really you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone.
Quick question for Tom. If I understand you correctly, Wade started a mutual fund and started a hedge fund. You went on the mutual fund side, had to deal with a lot of regulatory issues with the SEC. Am I correct in assuming that you did that because you feel that you wanted to access smaller investors, that you couldn't get enough accredited investors to do a hedge fund?
Yes, I basically thought that it was a better niche. There are hundreds of event-driven merger arbitrage hedge funds out there, and there's a handful of mutual funds that do it. And pot of money that's sitting out there that's allocated to hedge funds is relatively small if you compare it to the pot of money that's allocated to traditional vehicles. So it just made more sense to go the mutual fund route than the hedge fund route. Now actually getting at that pot of money, that's a different question. But yeah, it was a question, it was really, the thought process was, where's the niche where I can have an impact?